Hello, good evening, and welcome to viewers on CVM TV and those of you online at cvmtv.com. This is Live at 7 on this Wednesday, December 18. I'm Simon Crosskill. This evening, she is the voice. Deep down, we all knew she was great, and we figured that she would win. But last night, it became a reality. So today, we want to wrap up our Tessanne coverage with a look at what this means, if anything, for Brand Jamaica and the local music industry. You can join the discussion by sending an email to us, live at 7 at cvmtv.com or live at 7 at gmail.com, or chat with us on Facebook. We're live at 7 CVM TV, or send us a tweet to live at 7J. The hashtag this evening is simply Tessanne. All right, I'm sure he was glued as well. Gaffel Burford will tell us what's happening now.
All right, thanks so much, Simon. I won't tell you if I was glued to that last night. But anyway, the police are defending their handling of the investigation into the seizure of a bullet-making machine at Kingston Wharves late last month. Now, some have argued that the police should have waited and watched to see where the equipment was going in order to have a better chance of nabbing all involved. However, Superintendent Calvin Small, the head of the Transnational Crimes and Narcotics Division, the TCND, which is leading the probe, said the cops handled it in the most judicious manner based on the information they had available at the time. Now, his comments come on a day when the main suspect in the case turned himself in. O'Neill Schroeder went in accompanied by his lawyer. He's to be questioned soon. We're going to hear more from Superintendent Calvin Small during Newswatch at 8 o'clock. So Jamaicans continue to bask in the euphoria of Tessanne Chin's victory in the talent competition The Voice, produced by NBC. However, officials in the Works Ministry are also reacting this evening. They are responding to a comment Ms. Chin made about the condition of Jamaica's roads. Chin, who was presented with a vehicle for making the top 3 of the competition, remarked that Jamaica has the worst roads. The comment, which was made before a global audience of millions, has left the ministry in the spotlight. So officials have since said attempts are being made to improve the condition of the roads.
Are in need of attention. Our roads are in need of a lot of attention, and I think within the constraints of the budget and what have you, and with the ministry and with the tourism fund and with the road fund, we're making an effort to certainly attend to those critical areas at this point in time. This program of $200 million will attend to about 75,000 square meters of repairs along the major corridors. But certainly the point that Tessanne would have made, that the roads could do with more investment, that point is noted. But I think in the context of fiscal space and budget constraints, those have to be taken on board as well.
In fact, our officials of the Ministry of Works put on the spot there. It's not only on the spot here that you put persons on the spot, Simon, but on the spot at today's post-cabinet press briefing today at Jamaica House. More on that and so many other stories in terms of reactions to Tessanne Chin's victory in Newswatch at 8 o'clock.
You probably don't know this, but Tessanne did specifically mention Waterloo Road and Waterloo Avenue and Constant Spring
Which
Road.
are very close to me, actually.
Weird, isn't it? Funny how she just knew where to pick out the spots. So NWA, I hope you got the message.
She gave them a hint, all right, didn't she?
Certainly did. Thanks a lot, Garfield Burford. Well, it was the moment we were all waiting for. It finally came last night, the finale of the NBC reality show, The Voice, and pretty much Jamaicans, wherever they were in the world, were rooting, of course, for Tessanne Chin. The country erupted into a frenzy of celebration after it was announced that she was the winner of the competition in its 5th season. Well, we'll hear from Tessanne what the whole experience meant for her. But before that, here's how the crowd in Halfway Tree reacted to the announcement.
Share my life, take me for what I am, 'cause I'll never change.
This whole experience has been just incredible. I can't put it into words. I think words fail to justify the kind of emotions that are kind of surging through my whole being as I think about it. I was watching my blind audition the other day, and I couldn't help but get a little misty because I thought, my God, like, I can see such a change from that girl to the girl I am now, and that little bit of extra just self-belief in that maybe this is real, maybe I can do something with this, maybe I can take it to the next level. And from battles to knockouts to every live show since, it has been an absolute honor and a pleasure to be on this stage. Adam, what can I say? The only thing that outdoes his coaching is the amazing person he is. I owe him so much, you know, and I look up to him so much, and I respect him a lot. And I just, which is why I think my trust in him in terms of song choice and advice has been just each week going, just been more solid and more strong, because I can honestly say he's never led me wrong. My greatest lesson from Adam, definitely to create a moment. That's what Adam has taught me, the importance of creating a moment. And I realize that it's not just in music, it's in everything we do in life, to not just create the moment, but to realize the moments when they're happening in your life. And that's a big lesson, and I will take that with me forever.
What's up, everybody? I just have to tell you, thank you so much. I'm alive and kicking. I haven't really gotten to sleep yet, but I could not let another moment pass without telling you, thank you. I love you. See you soon.
Share my life, take me forward.
She is indeed the voice. Well, on the spot with us this evening, Damien Crawford, who is the entertainment minister in the Ministry of Tourism. We also have a fine recording artist herself. Don't wait till she goes abroad to understand it. Elaine is with us. And a man who, I guess he makes his living listening to the likes of Elaine and Tessanne, and making sure you hear them as well. Colin Hines of Fame FM. Welcome to the show. As you saw the reaction, you knew what the reaction would be. Let me just ask you, as an artist, a professional artist yourself, when you saw all that she was up against, did you make an assessment in your own head about the difficulties and who would be the main challenger and so on?
Yeah, absolutely. From she stepped on the stage, of course, I immediately in my heart knew she would win. But then, you know, your mind and your ears say, all right, who is the competition type of thing, you know? But I think a lot of who I was concerned about was the first, maybe her second challenge. I forget the lady's name.
No,
but
don't ask me.
Yeah. But when Tessanne won that, I
Right.
said, you know, she's going to win the whole thing.
Oh, that was the woman who was very soulful and powerful.
Yes,
Yeah.
her. That's who I was concerned
It's
about.
Donna Allen, I think her
Donna
name is.
Allen,
It's unfortunate
yes.
that for Donna Allen that she ran
she was
into
up
Tessanne
against
so
Tessanne,
early.
but fortunate because Tessanne won.
Indeed,
You know what I
indeed.
mean? So yeah, that's who I saw as her main competition.
Okay. Colin Hines, likewise, when you were, I'm assuming you watched, you were caught in as well. Did you get a sense from Tessanne, because I know you would have heard her before, did you get the sense that she was hitting the straps, that she was doing everything that Tessanne that we would expect her to be?
I did, but to be honest, this is someone who is here and you play her records and you say, man, she's good. And then when she steps onto an amplified platform,
You'll say, man,
you're like, man, she's
good.
Way past good. So I did make an assessment, and immediately I started to take into consideration all the other factors she was up against, which is not just merely the competition. After, I think the round after the blind auditions,
Right.
I was convinced that she could go all the way. So I started to be concerned about the other factors, the fact that she isn't an American, and all those things.
Damien Crawford, usually having to defend dancehall to all this country, this is probably slightly different for you. Entertainment is in the ministry, the tourism ministry, naturally. What is this likely to do, if anything, for A, the music industry, and B, the tourism product?
Oh, well, for the tourism product, it is a godsend because it is at the time that is the opening of the winter tourist season. And so therefore, at the state of awareness where persons are saying, where should I go and where should I choose of all the tropical places to escape this cold? Daily, Tessanne was in there, Jamaica was in their focus. And so therefore, for the tourist product, it was excellent for that on that basis because it increased awareness and by extension make it more likely for consumption. For the entertainment industry, what it did is to show investors in entertainment that there is an opportunity for Jamaican acts to actually become world leaders and by extension returns on your investments. And that's one of the things that have been lacking in Jamaica. Two people go to the show, and the one that has talent is the artist, and the one that have no talent is the manager. We have not had persons willing to put investment behind these artists.
In terms of the management of artists.
Management.
Is that a difficulty for artists? Is that a real difficulty for artists?
Absolutely. I think it's a across the board, artists complain about finding, needing the right manager and that not kind of being there.
The other thing I notice is, forgive me folks, I'm not into reality TV, and so I just look at Tessanne and then I move on. In fact, after she sings, I don't even watch anymore. But I did watch to see, I think, a previous artist on The Voice write a song for whoever the eventual winner was. It was a nice pop song. What about songwriting and getting the songs? Because we all know the voices are here. They're here in hundreds. You're a perfect example. What about getting songs written for you that have that crossover impact? Because most of the songs she did, if not all of them, were covers.
Right. Well, I mean, to get access to these types of songwriters, you have to be in touch with them. There's a pool of them. They're all signed to BMI or ASCAP and all of that. But it, of course, helps if you have powerful management or you have powerful links at a record label that will send you to work with a Timbaland or have Dan Warren write a song for you or one of these top writers, Sia Fuller, or these types of writers. But to get access to them is not the easiest thing, of course.
And you are a writer, a songwriter yourself. Do you look to send songs to artists over there?
Well, yeah, that is my dream. That is one of my dreams, absolutely. I mean, but now I'm writing.
Colin Hines, your industry has come in for a bit of stick. In fact, a Clovis cartoon in the Observer today, because he always gets it right. Well, he almost always gets it right. Right. Clovis, castigating the industry for now picking up on Tessanne with The Voice, and that they weren't playing her records in regular rotation when she was Tessanne, Jamaican singer.
To a point, the cartoon is spot on. And I say to a point, and qualify that by saying smart broadcasters and DJs, we have always been, without fanfare, supporting her music and supporting that of every artist who we think is worthy of.
Has part of the difficulty been the fusion of her music in dropping it into the right spot? I mean, Hideaway had the bit of rock and the bit of reggae.
No, it hasn't actually, Simon. It's a part of it has to do with what radio has become, which is radio has aped or has started over the last several years to mimic dancehall, almost sound system-esque. And so a quality song, for example, some of those belonging to Tessanne and other artists, if it don't fit in the proverbial juggling, there are disc jockeys that will pass it by.
Because it's not sitting on a rhythm where you can
hype,
do all that sort of thing.
There you go. So that's part of the issue. But to be fair, there are many wagonists.
A lot of them seem to find a way to do it this trip, though.
And all of those who are now getting on board. And we're grateful for that.
To a large extent, however, I think that the criticism is unfair because these are for-profit radio. We don't have, unless it's JIS, they're playing for a market. And so
you just have to be contrary, don't you?
No, I'm just saying, if I am a disc jockey, I'm playing what I believe the markets want to consume.
Right.
If I'm incorrect, then I will fail as a disc jockey. And so if the market is demanding X, then I'm playing Y, my disc jockey life.
Shouldn't you try and shape the market?
No, if you believe that the product shapes the market, then you'll be a very poor marketer.
In other words, the tail is wagging the dog?
No, the market is the dog. you are providing a service for the market. And so therefore, it is the market that defines what the product should be.
So you, just to an extension of that, then you don't believe that the likes of a Colin Hines and others actually set the tone for the market? Because, all right, for somebody like this old piece of market,
yes,
I'm only going to hear a song more often than not when I catch it on radio.
When I'm listening to radio, as soon as I'm not interested, whether it is Colin Hines or Kurt Riley or John the Baptist, I'm switching over to one of the other 26 channels that exist.
I've heard John the Baptist. He's
a
little headless,
but with the ease of crossover and with the multiplicity of radio. It's not once upon a time when we had 2 stations, they just had to live with what was being presented. And so there was a point that, especially because Tessanne was in the kind of rock kind of fusion, that the market wasn't ready to consume it.
No, but
so
Damien,
what
to be fair,
the market that we have nowadays?
Tessanne herself is now popular. And so therefore, the songs are not automatic that we love the song. It's just now Tessanne.
All right, well, I have to explore some of that because it is the elephant in the room that we need to talk about. And I'm going to ask...
Her music has not always been rock. It has been pretty mainstream. I just believe that we came to a point where we stopped being true radio. Disc jockeys, stop being, you can't trick the human ear. A good song is a good song. And oftentimes, we bypass a good song for good hype.
Hines can only say this, because his type of musical play on fame spans virtually every gamut at some point in time when he's on the radio. But if it's a little man mixed on a certain station, he's not going to find a space for
we need to be true to the song, or true to the song.
I agree with you.
Not true to hype.
Let me talk about the elephant in the room then, because what Clovis is recognizing also is that we have talent here, and it doesn't come to the fore unless it's validated by somebody abroad. Yeah. Now, we can go right back. I don't even know how far we can go back. You could look at Jimmy Cliff, you could look at Bob Marley, you call out names.
Sean Paul.
Does that offend you, and does it rob you of some creative justification that you say, well, all right, I can do all I can for this Jamaican audience, but unless I boss big, they're not going to give me my real props?
Boy, how I look at it, because I'm an artist in that boat as well, is that I will try my best to do my best and try my best to reach out to whatever will cause my product to expand.
While satisfying your own creative juices.
Exactly, and can't let that get you down, because you have to keep trying, just like Tessie say, you have to get up and try, and that's what she did. And her stepping out is just an amazing example of what can happen when you do push the boundaries, because we give thanks for the support that she has now, it is wonderful. And there is talent that is there that must recognize itself as worthy and therefore do the things that will have your brand be a bigger brand than it is.
What's going to be interesting is in the near future whether that support and love and Jamaicanness will manifest itself when she has a concert and is charging a certain amount of money. Take a break on Live at 7. Don't rap. I know the difference between a bad song and a good song. Welcome back to Live at 7 as Damien Crawford besmirches my musical identification abilities. All right, so Tessanne is the voice. Once again, the name Jamaica has gone out there. How do we capitalize on this opportunity for brand Jamaica? And equally, and probably equally importantly, the local music industry. With us on spot, Damien Crawford, who is the entertainment minister in the Ministry of Tourism. Elaine, of course, a recording artist that you know well, and Colin Hines of Fame FM, who's been around longer than he wants to admit to. Surely there has to be producers over there, if they didn't know already, that if you look at Tessanne and her performance through all of the different genres of music and throwing in her No Doubt and Lady Soul mix and so on, that maybe there are other equally talented people who are are not solely dancehall or reggae artists. We must hope for that.
Yeah, man,
and I'm not
for
only
that.
talking about the States, by the way, because I think we forget Europe when we talk music as well.
Right, yeah, man, you have to. It obviously has everybody's ears open, more so to Jamaica now than it was before, and not necessarily to a specific type of artist. You know, Tessanne's image as well, the way she speaks and conducts herself with grace, I think is a very different type of image that, you know, that has been established in their minds, and say, okay, so there's more that Jamaica has to offer, which is great for Jamaica. You know?
I think there are levels to the thing. Tessanne is, as she has proven, clearly exceptional. Yes. I think we have good artists. I don't think we have great artists in abundance. And it's just a law of averages.
Well, it is. It is. But Damien Crawford, should it force Anna Lane to reflect and say, well, all right.
No, well,
America said yes to Jamaican of Asian descent and said, yes, all of these trappings don't matter. We like the voice, we like the sound. Should it force other, because I know you were talking about proper management, but should it force our artists who have the ability to
recognize
and so on?
Just to recognize that there are other avenues that can create more prosperity. But there might be an artist that feels, I don't care about the prosperity, I'm staying true to reggae music, right? But that is why what we tried to do with Arts in the Park was to introduce these market intermediaries to some of our acts, for which Tessanne was a part of the last Arts in the Park when we carried on Sony and Alaska Records and BT, to say, this is the talents that we have, how can you market it, how can it fit into your thing? And unfortunately, none of them bit on it.
But does this make maybe that marketing exercise a little easier?
It makes our job easier to invite people, because now for the February Arts in the Park, we have 13 booking agents that are saying they're coming down. So they would come for the Kingston for Reggae Month, and now they're saying, yes, we definitely want to be
Is that as a response to this, or
no,
did
it was before, but it will now be even more encouraged, because they're coming to book people for the European festivals, which is an easier sell for bookings than for signing, because of the investment portion that goes into signing and the risk that comes with it. And Anley made a very excellent point that what Tessanne has done is to reduce the perception of risk in working with Jamaican artists. Her ability to express herself, her ability to take
the work you have to put in that short space of time.
Exactly. And over the last 3 to 4 decades, unfortunately, Jamaican acts have given the impression that they're difficult to work with and uncertain in their effort.
I would have had difficulty working with Christine Aguilera only because she talks about herself so much, and that every person she meets is the greatest person she's ever met. But Adam Levine at times, I'm sorry, Adam Levine at times looked as if he was lost in the moment. Now, I know he's a performer, but he did look as if this is something he hadn't heard before.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Acting? Oh man, just listen to her voice. I mean,
No,
at the end of the day,
me, you know,
how do you feel when you listen to her? Like Adam's face captured it all. I whether or not he was acting, I saw my face did look when me to hear her. So I could believe that he was genuine. You know.
I don't know about contractual things, but why wouldn't a Maroon 5 established and so on see that well, you don't even need a contract over there, you know, come work with us and do all that sort of thing? Or would it be a contractual thing, maybe with the voice, that would prevent him from doing that?
The show would have already had
the show
certain obligations
certain
for the winner.
obligation, right.
And in fact, Adam would have been employed to the show
Right.
and have signed a contract to certain things. Right. But understand as well, it is not cheap to invest in an act. And so therefore, Adam might not want to put up that. The universal.
What about now, speaking of staying to type, governments like this kind of thing because it alleviates some of the other thoughts,
distracts
distracts us from the very bad roads and so on.
And draws attention, unfortunately.
Indeed. And they tend to jump on the bandwagon pretty quickly, and the next thing I know, we've got a welcome home, a motorcade, a concert, and so on. What's the government planning, and your department in particular?
It is easy for governments to jump on this and to claim even ownership. of it. I'm not aware of what the plans are. I spoke to Auntie Babsy, Mrs. Grange earlier to say if we should collaborate to do something, because you have the other side of saying, but oh, them not do nothing. So you seem forced to do something, or so you're it's a catch 22.
Damn if you do, damn if you don't.
It's a catch 22.
But
But what we have been trying, even before Tessanne, as I said, was what is Arts in the Park, to introduce them to the intermediaries, which is very difficult in Jamaica because of the abundance of artists and the ease of cussing politicians who say, how me not on it, how this one not on it, and that. Tessanne was on the first one, and I'm proud of the committee that chose that, because it meant they were really looking at talent. And also the importation of people to experience music. We kind of feel that it is the exportation of acts that is where the money automatically exists. Maybe for the act, but for the country, it is the importation of people to experience these acts in a kind of value added that will never exist overseas. I mean, Sting is what, $2,000 for every artist that you can think of? That value that is there, and that is why we're doing the 90 days of summer to say Jamaica is a place to be for entertainment in the summer, and the Kingston for February to say celebrate Reggae Month with us in Kingston, because we experience entertainment in a different way, and we entertain people in a different way. So I think that what we can do now with the awareness that Tessanne has created is to push those events to say, all right, you see one of what we have. Now come and see the Alains, come and see the this, the that, and including the Bounty Killers and everybody, because we have this exceptional talent pool that can position Jamaica in a better way.
All right, time for another break on Live at 7. We continue to resonate in the light of Tessanne Chin and her winning performance in The Voice. All right, welcome back to Live at 7. We're talking obviously about Tessanne's performance at The Voice, but more importantly, what it means for the music industry here, what it means for Jamaica, and a little later on, I want to know what it really means for you. With us, Damien Crawford, Entertainment Minister in the Ministry of Tourism, Elaine, recording artist, and Colin Hines of Fame FM. The wider implications, where we've looked at where can we go with it, what can we get out of it? Dancehall music, some would say, has continuously been under attack in this country. Is this another nail in dancehall music because of this success?
No, it's not. I think, and I don't know if David will agree with me, but I think we're not proud of dancehall.
We as a country are not.
We as a country are not proud of dancehall, and dancehall is as intricately Jamaican as patois. I think dancehall, and if you want to split them apart, dancehall reggae are both obverse sides of the same embryo.
Right.
But we seem to do everything to minimize it, to undermine it, to castigate it in this country. And I think it's a viable product.
Is it because, for instance, you never heard Tessanne singing about putting one in a man dome and whatever other elements that may be a little less agreeable to a lot of people? That's not in there. Does dancehall have to look at itself to say, maybe I need to sort myself out?
Oh.
No?
Well, first of all, I think that as it relates to the number of citizens, dancehall is accepted. As it relates to the sources of power, dancehall is not accepted. Now, the minority has the majority of power. And so, therefore, they...
Which is my point.
Yes, but in another 20 years, I don't think you'll be arguing for dancehall, because you will have moved on, and the dancehall you're arguing for may seem archaic to the next generation.
Possibly, because we see the evolution already with Gothic dancehall coming, and some my age was like, yo, be the Gothic dancehall thing.
Eye pigment and all them something.
But that is, as culture progresses, so would art progress, because art reflects what culture is. So you can't expect that if a culture isn't stagnant, art will remain stagnant. What I'm saying is that what has happened is that the power brokers are from different classes than the majority of persons who are the producers of dancehall. And that classist reality, because Jamaica is a classist country, we're not a racist country, but we're still highly a classist country. No, if you're black and make enough money, you're accepted.
I don't think you're ever accepted. You're allowed in.
You're allowed.
I don't know that you're ever accepted.
But we're highly classist. And that differentiation between the producers of dancehall music and the power brokers is one of the reasons why dancehall has not.
And I know somebody's going to be sitting there, sorry to cut you, Colin, and Elaine, come in, that we make that statement about the classism and the racism and so on, and then we're going to be sitting here celebrating what is an element of Jamaica's culture out on the international stage. And people are going to say, then why not talk about them negativity there where we just mash up the place again?
No, well, if I can just quickly jump in, because I don't like hockey, but if there's a Jamaican team playing hockey, I'm all in.
Right.
Until the thing finishes, then I don't like hockey again. So therefore, the support of country cannot be confused with the support of a genre.
Right.
I'm supporting Busy Signal now, who is the Pepsi
ambassador.
ambassador. Yes. And many Jamaicans will be proud who hate Busy generally. So the support of country.
I'm a big fan of Busy, by the way.
Right. But the support of country can't be confused with the support of a genre. Okay. And Tessanne was more a support for country, the diaspora, everybody. Was saying
Speaking of
and a reflection of our diversity.
Right. Speaking of genre, because you every now and then flip across, you get soulful, and then sometimes you do something a little more dancehall-ish and a little more reggae and so on. Do you feel a need to define yourself in one category, or
no, sir. I feel the need to be a musician.
The answer to that.
Listen, I feel the need to express myself as I am. I am. You know, I have different feelings at different times. Of course, reggae, dancehall is the music I grew up with. That's the music of my heart. So it is a natural extension of myself, and so I create a lot of.
And can you express all your emotions in reggae and dancehall, or is there an emotion that sometimes you have to go soul?
Well, I mean, music is just music. You know, it's not confined to genre. But as I am first and foremost a reggae dancehall artist, so therefore the majority of my songs will fall into that.
To follow up with what Elaine is saying, the game has changed in terms of how an artist approaches the business. If you're going to define yourself as hip hop or R&B, then you're more behind the 8 ball.
You don't want to narrow down your options.
You take, for example, Rihanna, who you can't define. She's almost like a chameleon, music-wise. You can't define her as pop. You can't define her as R&B.
Sometimes I can't define her voice, to be honest.
So I think the way forward for Tessanne, with all the abilities she has and with all her musical influence and all the things that she's displayed that she can do, is to not lock herself in or box herself in as this type of artist, but as more of a universal artist who makes music and can be consumed by everybody. The way forward for her is to write good songs with good melodies, with international feel and sounds and textures, and hope the other rest of stars line.
Is she gone from us, by the way, with this?
Well, remember she's now going to be under contract. That's a whole different ball game, even as it relates to her control over output. So it's not like she can just show up downtown and just sing a tune anymore. So to an extent, her freedom to be a part of us, it would be reduced. Restricted. However, at the end of the day, one of the realities about this contract and this management, for example, PR is important to public life. So if there's a mistake made, PR would handle it. If there's a mistake made with artists without management, the jail will handle it. So management,
as it often does.
But management is important even to the continuous acceptance from the audience.
All right, but that's a whole lot of machinery that goes behind her now.
Which you know how.
You have some sense of that here with record labels and so on. They exert a certain amount of control and want you to do this and want you to produce this kind of music. Is it likely then that Tessanne could lose some of that, whatever independent creativity she has, because she has to
Well, I mean, we don't know what the contract says.
Yeah.
Don't know about how the creative process is going to be governed.
But
If
is
they're
there
gonna
a
say
norm?
these are the songs, you have to say it depends. It really just depends on the type of contract that she gets. In response to Rihanna, every album that she has a different flavor. I think they always define who she is. You know, so there's a certain album that has the first album was more Caribbean, then she went, you know, more hardcore, then it was more pop. So it's every album is it's not gonna be an album of just songs from Spanish influence to, you know, I don't know, Czechoslovakia and stuff. There has to be,
The thing with Rihanna's records is that you can find a little something for everybody.
Right.
On it, and consistently she's gone with like 5 albums. You find she's charting here, there, and everywhere. And I think the smart artist who has an international platform on which to step, which is now Tessanne, will just make good records that will connect with people in general. And it boils to the words you write, the melodies you put it to, and the persons who put it on together.
Production.
And the money behind you.
And the money behind for the marketing.
All right, speaking of money behind you, is there because I don't know how much government involvement there was in Tessanne Chin's rise and success, but you talk a lot about the need for management. I've heard people say what we should be doing is government should maybe be building studios and getting international artists to come and record. Maybe not building them themselves, but should play a greater role in the same industry that you talk about, in that, why don't we have the managers here? Why don't we have a course at wherever to train people in music management and so on? And why isn't there an impetus from government?
Well, one of it is that the industry is disorganized and therefore has little lobby power because they don't coordinate their lobbying activities. What we have done in recent times is to, for the first time, put tools of trade. And so therefore the importation of assets for entertainment investment now is treated like the importation of assets for any other industry. That is something that will propel the industry forward. We have also allowed for artists now to use their catalog as collateral for loans, which means that if Aline wants to go on a tour to expose herself to Korea, she can now fund that tour by using her catalog and saying, all right, then expose myself to these new people. Because when I went to Korea, Jamaica is a big thing. There's a show called Yemen, just because. But not many of our artists are known. It's just the culture is known. But the reality is that if government is to build a studio, can you imagine if I go to cabinet and say I want a studio when Ronnie Tracy is saying he wants a basic school, or the Minister of Health is saying he wants a clinic, you're going to lose that argument. And so private investment is necessary for the development of any industry. And so therefore government must now facilitate that private investment by not making it onerous to import things that are necessary to import or incapable to get financing.
My director is saying maybe the Chinese could build one on Goat Island along with the whole.
Goat Island is full, but if there's a Cow Island, we will start.
We have to take a short break. When I come back, I want to ask you, Elaine, because the music industry has changed in terms of how you buy stuff. It's all iTunes and online and so on. And so I want to know how you can value your catalog without giving me every detail in terms of dollars and cents. Suko. All right, we're back on live at 7. So let's see what you had to say on Facebook to this question. Does Tessanne Chin winning The Voice, or what does it mean to you? Shanika says, well, it means we have a true, humble, kind-hearted role model, and her winning serves as the inspiration to use to strive for excellence. And if you fail, get up and try again. Kinky Kim says, nothing at all. Hope somebody heard about the roads that can help us. DJ Lamar says, it means a lot to me. It motivates me to work harder and never give up on my dreams. Jason says, it meant a lot to me. It shows how Jamaicans are talented and can do great things. I don't have to get something from her for it to mean something to me. Bjorn says nothing. It just shows that she's talented, and most Jamaicans never appreciated or recognized her talent until now. Proud that she won, but by the way, Tammy Chin is my girl. And finally, Paula says, our bad road's going to get fixed. The politicians going to evaluate their action and try to do better to fix the problems that are wrong with Jamaica. Educate the society in areas such as respecting other people that are different to you. I know this is a stretch, but can you blame me for dreaming? Is this too much to ask?
What does it mean?
It probably is.
Her winning this, what does it mean? It means she's won a ticket to the international ball.
Yeah. Right.
The ball is now in her court. And I think Jamaica should also slow down. She is not yet a star. She's not boss yet. But she now has a grand opportunity.
All right, that's his view. Let me find out what you had to say on the streets.
It's inspired me, and it makes me feel good and proud of her. She's very excellent. She's very intelligent, intellectual. She's good. She's just a bomb to the world.
I was supposed to be studying, and then after I felt so motivated to study because seeing that she went that far and she was able to accomplish something so great, I felt that I too was able to am able to accomplish anything that I can.
It just proved to show that as a nation we just need to look beyond the social problems and even the stress of the government and unite, because the country was extremely united last night. So it brings unity, and I like that.
Well, it put us on the map again, you know what I mean, and show us that, well, then, you know what I mean, we can achieve what we want to, as long as we put our head and mind to it, you know what I mean?
All right, so there you have it from the street. So everybody wants to know, because I'm getting tweets and all those thingies, is Elaine going to enter The Voice?
I don't know. Everybody has been asking me that since my sister entered and won, and right now it's just Tessanne time now. So, like, you know, that's what I'm focused on celebrating her victory with her.
Okay, that is beautiful.
Yes.
So you're going to enter? Also, let me ask you this. I don't understand the money-making part of music anymore, apart from people doing shows and so on. Because when I was growing up, you buy, they put out a 45, you bought that, you liked it, and you bought the album. I got used to the CD argument, I buy that too. Now, I have to go find the music online. I don't even know where to put the money in the computer.
Simon, stay with us.
I don't know where to put the money in the computer to get the iTunes. How does that work?
You put the money, you put it in the slot here. Help, sir. 91119. Hello.
Send me a latest. How does it work? Because I remember Shaggy telling me one time that that's the way he's going, strictly producing music for the digital consumption,
yes.
so on and so on and so on.
Nobody walks into a store and buy a CD that often anymore. The CD has been obsolete for maybe the last 10 years.
Yeah, so have I. So how do you do it then? Because when we were talking about her earning power and record companies saying she has to do this and she has to do that, where do they come in if she just voices a tune and puts it on iTunes?
Well, iTunes has now become the record store that you go to.
And
what is ironic is that the music is now cheaper, but for some strange reason,
Still not selling.
Because we teeth it.
No, because it's easy to get.
It's easy to get free.
Free.
Yeah. Well, that's the other side of the
But also a lot of record companies are signing the all-inclusive contracts where they get some of your shows, they get some of everything.
360.
So it's a 360 contract. So once upon a time it was on your sales. Now it's every
So
money
how do you make
that
them?
you
How
make.
do you?
Well, shows are a fundamental aspect. A lot of companies and their association, through brand association, endorsements is a major aspect.
shows licensing of your product for
if you make a
for
TV, a show, or
for
a
a
So you have to
movie.
become more than really just a
Yeah,
singing
you have to
act.
get
But it boils down to how good your song is. If your song gets picked up by a movie, that's money.
Yes.
If it gets picked up as
Alien.
Busy Signal
By
did
Pepsi.
by Pepsi, you make money. So
Yes, but how do you become the Paul McCartney millionaire, zillionaire, and the
But these shows are not cheap, you know. When these big acts come, Celine Dion was $1 million for Down by Jazz. So
Right.
don't think that is free to do it. It's not like we were $30,000 a year act because they're in Jamaica and I'm just a parody.
I get that, but you know, she's got a lifestyle to maintain, and she'd have to do a show a night.
But she's also in Las Vegas getting all kind of things.
Yeah. So are you saying to me then that the business of you putting out a record, you come out with a new single, which I hear whenever you do, right, that I go on the iTunes and I get it, and in terms of sales on that song, that's how it's done?
That's still part of the business. The other part is, like we said, the licensing and the use of your product that copyright societies...
Radio play.
Because everybody wants to know.
And publishers, publishers will pass on your music to people who will use it. So that is one way. And that
because everybody wants to know how is Tessanne going to make the... Because, you know, we like to, you know... We want to know how you're going to make the bag out of this
by
voice
writing
argument.
songs, because that's also key. You write the song, publishing. You write good song, it's score #1 on iTunes, sales, because it still sells. That song again results in people gaining an interest in you. It means stadiums, it means coliseums, it means arenas, it means sold out shows. And it depends on how your management and street dance. Yeah. And it depends on how your management structure your business, what kind of contracts and agreements.
So would Gangnam Style that went viral and have about 72 billion hits?
Well, YouTube pay him too, you know.
Right, but from see the record, yeah, give me the money. That done. That doesn't exist anymore.
Well, Sai, when I went to South Korea recently, is also the spokesperson for the JTB of Korea, the tourist board. And so he's been paid as the spokesperson.
I wouldn't even take the bus. I can't take it. But then.
so the thing is, Simon, the days of selling a physical song is fast becoming the past. But you're still selling music at the record store, which is now iTunes or Rhapsody or Amazon or these places.
And Jamaicans will be very used to that because they seldom sold in Jamaica. Because we were burning and copying cassettes long ago. So they were living from dub plates and from things.
And you're all right with the new direction.
Of what? Of the music industry? No, you make less money because you sell less records, but it is what it is, you know? So you focus on, so I focus on, because it's my experience.
Yeah, but I don't know why them two there aren't saying that. Them can't sing a note. It's really you I want to hear from.
Well, you don't know, maybe Colin will be the next voice. People should ask if Colin is going to go.
So you focus on what?
Autotune as a special guest artist.
You focus on what?
Focus on having the songs become popular. So you spend money on videos because it's all about the visual now. People want to see who you are, you know, how you look, what you're doing when you're standing up, what you have on. I want to dress there, something like that song there. Like it's all part of it, you know, the image as well. And so you get more shows because it's broadcast all over the world on the internet. You make use of YouTube. And, you know, that's how we make money.
And are these people going to take over Tessanne's image as well?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Everything. Chances are they're going to
what you wear, the colors that match your eyes and all these things.
We might not
but at the end of the day, though, everything has to have her approval.
But but they study this in a time. These are not just guess and spell people. You know. These are people that went to Harvard and don't know about singing. But what I want to say quickly, Simon, is Shaggy has to be bigged up because
Shaggy Lad.
Yes.
He took her as a project. And gave her advice, having now been out there. Many people come back from out there and don't contribute. So we have to big up Shaggy.
I have to leave it there. Minister Damien Crawford, Colin Hines, of course, of Fame FM, and the wonderful Elaine, who we will see on The Voice sometime soon, I'm sure. So heartiest congratulations to the wonderful Jamaican artist Tessanne Chin. Her stunningly powerful voice, modest personality, and her beautiful charm left voters on The Voice with little option. Tessanne had overwhelmed them pretty much from the moment she opened her mouth on the first show. It's the same voice, by the way, that's captivated a few Jamaicans who heard her early performances on the island years ago. In fact, how many of today's fans saw her on the small stage at Jazz and Blues, or even 6 years later when she made it to the big stage? Now she's a household name, and she wouldn't be the first Jamaican to need validation abroad before being embraced at home. Geez, that even happened to the great Bob Marley. And now we revel in Tessanne's achievement, an achievement born of her own innate talent, hard work, guidance, love of her husband, family, and friends. But don't for one moment, Jamaica, think you had anything to do with it. Too often we live vicariously through the efforts of others, claiming greatness for this island. Well, stop it. You played absolutely no part in the success of the likes of Tessanne, Usain, Shelley, Sean, Shaggy. What you have done is to enjoy and celebrate their own attempts at glory. Their work does not make Jamaica great. What their work must do is to inspire us to be the best we can be in our own endeavors, to reach for the stars with the self-belief that you can actually touch them. I'm talking about scientists, computer programmers, the businessman, the politician, the server at Tasty Patties, and yes, the television presenter. We must excel at our jobs, not ride on the coattails of Tessanne and others. Finally, that support that Jamaicans proudly give when our talented people show it abroad is precisely the kind of support that can help the less talented among us at home. Show your pride, buy Jamaican, show your pride and keep our island clean. Show your pride and report crime. In short, show your pride by putting Jamaica first. Tessanne is another brilliant star, but she's one in a galaxy of Jamaicans who must try to shine like her. That's it for our program this evening. Thank you for watching. Thanks to our guests. And, of course, thanks to our hard-working crew. By the way, how's your spending power this Christmas? We'll be taking a look at that and the Jamaican economy this Christmas tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.